Today's video is of course going to be about the lovely and fantastic Moldavite. It will also be scratching the surface of psychic and spiritual abilities. And in that sense, Moldavite, again, is the main beautiful focus. Moldavite's ability to manifest those more greatly. Since I was very young, I've always felt that I had certain abilities inside of me. Now, I would like to go ahead and say here that I believe that we all have all of these abilities in us, such as telepathic powers, empath powers. Enlightened gurus have levitated, the ability to see the future, all these kinds of things. I mean, there's just vast amounts of them. You've probably heard of these abilities, powers of like wizards and things of that nature. And I believe that we all have those inside of us. I don't believe that there's one person in the world who can do this. We can all do it, is my personal opinion. We just need to dig through the layers of who we think we are to get to who we really are. And who we really are is an infinite, magical, spiritual being with powers that you can't even begin to scratch the surface of or talk about. And that being said, I'm going to try to scratch the surface and talk about it here. So, I've always felt from a young age that I had certain gifts. And that gift for me, the main one that I'm going to use it as an example in this ability is I've always felt that I could see the future. Now, I'm quoting that because that's the easiest way for me to explain it. That is my most attuned ability. Now, like I said, I believe that we all have these inside of us, but your soul probably has more experience with a certain one that might blossom out into your life more than others. And I do believe that maybe that's the one that you should work on too, because it's the one that you can strengthen and utilize the most in this three-dimensional reality that we exist in. But where does the Moldavite come into play for this? Well, rather than having those random struck by lightning moments and feeling that moment of infinity at random times, I never knew what it was that triggered it. I would try, I would journal, I would really intellectualize it and try to reason out, why is this happening? And so that's where Moldavite comes into play. What has Moldavite done for my psychic ability that I have strongest inside of me? Well, it has given me the ability over time, over working through all of the layers that you use Moldavite as the tool to work through. It's given me the ability to experience that moment of infinity every single second of my life. I'm not struck by lightning anymore randomly and only get it for a second and then come back and have to sit there all mind-effed going, whoa, what just happened? Now it's a consistency. The strongest piece of me, my higher self, is always in touch with my ego self. This person that I use to navigate this three-dimensional reality with is always in touch with me and is always showing me that. It's like this whole kind of power to my life where I can tell the future. I can decide the future. I am the future. Now, this is a gift that I believe that everybody has. I don't even necessarily believe that it's a gift anymore. I believe that it's the reality of our existence. I believe that this is true for everybody, but you might just not be paying attention to it. So how has Moldavite given me the ability to experience this every moment rather than just those random ones? Moldavite is the tektite of transformation. You know that. Why is it the tektite of transformation? Moldavite is going to force you in a very uncomfortable way at first to confront the layers of who you think you are. It is going to force you to approach different things that will help you to dissolve the layers of your ego so you can be more connected with your higher self. That's what Moldavite does, in my opinion, of course. Moldavite will help you to see and be who you really are. Now, I am going to go ahead and add a little bit of a warning here, and that is the warning that you must be ready for Moldavite. I have an exact video on that too. But imagine I'm going to go ahead and call it a normal person, just for the ability to give this as a better example. Imagine you're just a completely normal person who has no idea, no interest in all of this esoteric information. Doesn't really care about the fifth dimension, doesn't even know that it exists, and is perfectly happy living this three-dimensional life. Doesn't want any of this stuff to come in and influence it. And they get themselves some Moldavite for whatever reason. Maybe it's accidental, maybe somebody gives it to them and they put it in a drawer, but it's so powerful it affects them over time anyways while they're near that drawer, because that's how powerful Moldavite is. It's totally nuts. Imagine that person all of a sudden having this forced to confront the layers of their ego, forced to dissolve the reality they thought they were living in, forced to all of a sudden experience psychic abilities of, seeing the future, or reading people's minds, or walking into the room as someone and instantly feeling what they're feeling and knowing what their life is like. It's like, that could totally derail somebody and make them walk themselves into a mental asylum. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I always did think that I was crazy, to be honest with you. Moldavite helped me to dissolve the layers of my ego and those kind of definitions that I put on myself, and those kinds of things that I thought were my personality, which I now know was just me choosing it as my personal reality. It forced me to see that I wasn't crazy and that it is real. And maybe, now that I'm talking about it, maybe that's the definition of a crazy person, to somebody who thinks that they're right. I don't know. So we'll go ahead and leave it on this. I'm crazy, and I love Moldavite. And if you are interested in expanding your psychic, spiritual abilities, Moldavite can be a really powerful tool for you in that way. So go ahead and get some, and join the crazy train with me. Bye.